Welcome to show your parents the PTA and the asleep don't want you to hear. The Helios blog. Today, Sneako and the Muslim lantern have a giant beef with Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes. Well, this should be major drama.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
I mispronounced LIFO, sorry.
It's different, but it looks, it looks really good. Nice new setup. Where are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, I just moved. Let's just say moved locations. But yeah, alhamdulillah, this is a new setup, yeah. You're the first one I'm like so far, filming within the setup. I've not even done a stream yet on my channel,
Let's go. So
you're
I got
getting
the
the
first
exclusive.
Haha, I got the clip. Okay, well, Muslim Lantern's first stream from where? Can we say where you are?
No, that's a secret.
He's in Palestine.
Secret.
But let's just say the Christians and the atheists that keep complaining too much immigrant leave our country is that I'm not in their country. I'm in a Muslim country, right? So let's just say that that's enough.
He's in Dubai.
So they stop talking too much.
Well, wait, where could he be? Dubai, Kuwait,
Much about immigration and being in a
Qatar.
Muslim country. I'm not living in a Muslim country. Let's just put it that way.
You know what's funny? Yesterday, I've been more on Dean. I've been getting all the prayers in. And yesterday during stream, I noticed that I was doing your smile. You know how you're doing it right now? Chad, have you noticed this when Muslim Lance is listening to someone and he goes like, just for 10 seconds, just like, and in the beginning when I first started talking, I'm like, why is he smiling? It was like pissing me off. Like, why are you happy? Yesterday I was speaking to Lucas Gage and it was just like, just like that. Like I have your face now. That's what.
So he's saying you get happy praying 5 times a day? Probably do. It's probably got some positive benefits.
I guess it's the Dean face.
Yeah, we're happy all of
I think it's a relaxation and you're not upset about.
Please stop.
I don't think there's a be angry about what basically. Whatever happening in this life is a test. We exist here for a reason, and we're experiencing this existence, this life, and we'll suffer. We'll have suffering. We'll have pain. But everything has a meaning, and this is the Islamic idea, right? That everything that happens for a reason. Yeah. So nothing to be upset about. And I'm like very proud seeing, mashallah, that you're talking about praying 5 times a day and being on your deen and this and that. And alhamdulillah, that's a great thing. And keep in mind, I think this is a very important thing to understand is that iman, faith increases and decreases. So sometimes it does increase and you feel like you're driving. But the important thing is that you don't fall apart if you feel it decreasing or something. You don't go all the extreme to the other side.
Yeah, I wanted to protect
it. That's a very important thing.
Because it was really high. Like I finally understood what that word iman meant. After Bosnia, I went to Medina. And when I was there, my iman got really strong. Like it was the strongest it ever was. And then I was like, okay, now I'm going back into the land of Shaitan and back in Miami. And that's always been the struggle, leaving that world and coming back here. And so I'm like, let me do my best to protect my iman and not get back to the same routine that I have here. So I cut out. Yeah,
the routine of doing illicit substances, doing the powder, being with the girls.
Everything, quit smoking, quit, I didn't go out on my birthday, this stuff. I've just been protecting my iman. And then I've noticed a major increase. So, and also people in the chat are saying smile is sunnah. So it's
sunnah.
Someone's face. You see, the teachings of Islam are always like this, It could really brighten someone's day just smiling in their face, rather than just having this angry, upset face, 24/7 for no reason. So that could actually, improve someone's mood just being
that's true.
Pleasant. Mm-hmm. But some people, they don't understand.
I didn't understand it at first either, but now I get it. Like it was just, I had to catch myself. I'm like, it was the same. I could feel the same thing. But what do you think about everything, the conversation that's been going on so far? I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there's been back and forth with myself and the white supremacists. And I guess it wasn't directly at Nick, but I guess Nick, Nick Fuentes, he said basically yesterday that if you're white and you're not being called white supremacist, then you're and he said he doesn't, whenever he hears Muslims talk about the solutions that we have, he's like, just plug it out, don't listen. He says he blocks out the noise. I'm not exaggerating. This is what he said. He said, I block out the noise. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, which is, I respect his intellect a lot. For a guy to be like, I don't want to hear la 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 la. It's like, I didn't expect him to say that. And then also Andrew Tate started saying, you know, he publicly dissed me 2 days ago. He said, like, this is why I don't talk to you anymore. I'm like, okay. But I was
There's no honor among thieves. Isn't that the expression?
calling out the fact that, you know, he was wrong about white supremacism. He said white supremacists are totally right, and they're not. And the reason that I called it out publicly instead of privately was because he made that mistake recently with Tel Aviv Tommy Robinson, Stephen Lee Axel Lennon, you know, Tommy Rubenstein. He said, like, Tommy Robinson's right, all this stuff. He was basically siding with the white supremacists, and then you could probably say that it indirectly caused riots and, like, a lot of problems in the UK, right? You're from the UK, well, you live in the UK, so you've probably seen some of that stuff happen. Do you think that I went about that the right way, and what's your analysis of that whole back and forth?
Yeah, so I'm not living in the UK at the moment, but I'm there often, yes, and I do da'wah there, so I get what you're saying. But yes, the first thing with Nick, right?
England, the new Muslim country in Europe.
Yeah, I maybe tweeted a little bit back at what he was saying and one of the things that he said, because he directly started speaking about us. He's saying, oh, he's been hanging around these brown people too much, and whatever this stuff that he keeps saying, you know? And the thing is, you came to these conclusions on your own. Nobody told you, do this, do that, believe this, believe that. It's very basic, normal conclusions of any human being who has, let's say, brain cells, right? But the interesting thing when you...
Okay. Yes. Humans with brain cells all come to the same conclusion. Well, I mean, there is an expression, right? Great minds think alike. But I don't believe that that's what's happening here.
Told me that he puts, like, he says mute and don't listen. It's exactly what the Quran is saying. There's the people of Noah, how Allah spoke about them, that every time he calls them for forgiveness or calls them to come closer to God, Allah says, جَعَلُوا أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي أَذَانِهِمْ. They put their fingers in their ears, right? Then we're not going to listen to you. But that's not a solution. Where is the responses? Where's the actual the facts that you can give us to say that what we're saying is wrong? He claims to be a Christian, Catholic, whatever term you want to give to himself.
Catholic.
He says he believes in God. If he believes in God, then what type of God is unjust that he would make one race superior to the other race without them doing anything to deserve it? Like, if you say that God created mankind, and then when he created mankind, he decided that the white people are going to be superior to the rest. I didn't choose to be Arab. You didn't choose to be, have Filipino, have Haitian. You didn't choose that. That was not your choice. Nobody chooses the race that they're going to be. And therefore, for anyone to claim that they believe in God and that God is just, and in the same time that just God has decided that some people are going to be superior genetically to other people, more intelligent, whatever it is, without them doing anything just because of their skin color.
Well, what's funny is that some people are born genetically more intelligent than other people, and they didn't choose it. And the just God did create that world, right? So... it's funny that he makes that argument. Of course, he added the caveat at the end, based on their skin color. Well, IQ and skin color is correlated, but not, like, if you compare across races, it's really not that different, right? Like, a few IQ points, left or right. Okay, whatever.
Is them saying that God is not just. And that's why they have no biblical justification to support their position. Just ask them a simple question. Okay, where does the Bible or your God that you believe in says that? Plus, if the white race is superior, then their God is inferior because he wasn't a white individual. Isn't that what they're saying, essentially?
Well, they're not really saying...
Meh. Like, that's bullshit, right? Again, Muslims love to throw in the, Jesus... like, they always throw in the disparaging Jesus comments, right? Because... they don't believe that Jesus is God, right? So they always throw it in. So again, they're like rational, they're nice, they're making good arguments, and then all of a sudden they'll throw in a Jesus jab, right? Okay, why do you keep mentioning Jesus, and talk down to him if you supposedly respect him? Again, I think that's the Islamic programming, right? The programming is, we cannot treat Jesus as God because we will be doing sacrilege to our own religion. So they then always have to attack him. Like, they don't attack Muhammad the same way, saying that he's, not God, or talking about all of Muhammad's weaknesses, even though Muhammad is also a prophet, just like Jesus, right? In their mind, right? Of course, in a Christian's mind, Christians know that Jesus is God, right? Do not take God's name in vain.
They're not being specific about whites being superior. They're saying whites invented everything. They did this. They evangelized the world. They created this. But they're not. No one's specifically saying whites are the superior race. Although it's an underlying belief. If we're being honest,
there are a bunch of people that do say it and do believe it genuinely.
A lot of these people, and I'm not even saying Nick specifically. I'm saying a lot of these people that are saying there's white genocide, white nationalism, right? We need to get the immigrants out. There's an underlying sense, let's be honest, that they believe that whites are the superior race. But that is a great argument. But some of them believe that Jesus was white.
The problem is that right now, whites are not having enough children, right? Most whites have on average one child. So that means in one generation, your population halves. Whites need to start having more children if they want their population of whites to continue. Again, at some point, there's going to have to be a choice made, right? Maintain the population or die or expand the population.
I was surprised about that. It's very clear that he was Middle Eastern. He probably looked like you, if we're going to be like same skin tone as you, like complexion. Yeah. But they claim he was white, and I'm like, there's no basis at all. And then they say Islam is a desert religion. I'm like, if Islam was Nick said this yesterday, if Islam is a desert religion, what does that make Christianity? Do you think Jesus, peace be upon him, was playing golf with Trump? Like, do you think he was like blasting YMCA? Do you think that he was at the tennis courts with pink shorts and Sperry's and boat shoes and, oh, honey, I'm home? Like, that doesn't, it was from the same place. Jesus spoke Aramaic. It was from the Middle East, and Christianity is from the same region as Islam. It's not this foreign. If Islam is foreign, then so is Christianity.
Yeah, as I said, look,
again, Christianity kind of like the Bible, right, has two pieces, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So the Old Testament is like that religion that is being described, the old school religion, kind of like the Torah or the Talmud. I'm not really sure. You guys can tell me in the comments. But anyway, there's the Old Testament and the New Testament, and obviously Christianity then evolved into multiple pieces, right? So initially it was one religion, then it split off into two pieces, a Western and Eastern Christianity, Eastern becoming like Eastern Orthodox, and the Western becoming Roman Catholic, right? And then there were many sects afterwards: Protestant, Calvinist, Lutheran, Church of England, and so on. So those offshoot religions are the American Christianity that Sneako's describing. Christianity evolved to better cater to more modern people while maintaining many of the ancient stories, right? But modifying. And then there's like cults, right? Like there's like, Jehovah's Witness, Mormon and all that. Seventh-day Adventist, like totally like not even close to the original canon biblical texts, right? Cue the people in the comments attacking me because I believe I'm like a purist, right? Like it's Catholic and Orthodox or nothing for me. But that is a personal preference, right? I just believe that these more ancient religions capture better, and I would even lean more towards Orthodoxy versus Catholicism. I believe they capture better the original intent of the religion, right? Okay, let's continue.
They say white supremacy means, I heard many of them talk about genetics. They say that we're born, our genetics, our ancestry is why we're superior. Like, we're more intelligent. Nah. I heard many of them talk about IQ, right? If they say now, we don't actually mean, because that's why you're saying that's not the next position. If you say, I don't actually mean that whites are actually superior to other races just because they're whites. but it is due to their achievements. Okay, so let's then compare achievements. And then based on the comparison of achievements, we say that these people that did this were superior. But also you cannot generalize. Let's just say, okay, you know the common Jewish argument. Oh, how many Jews won the Nobel Prize? Okay, they won the Nobel Prize for a reason. They know who's controlling that winning of the Nobel Prize. We can use the same idea, right? Oh, Jews are scoring the best IQ test. Okay, so we use the same arguments. Then Jews are superior. Jews, according to many of them, this is Nick's claim, is that they are controlling the world. If they are controlling the world and controlling white people in America, aren't they, by definition, then superior to you?
I mean, right? That's the rub, isn't it? Right? That's the rub.
If you were truly as superior as you say you are, then how are you allowing another race or whatever it is to control you? That makes zero sense.
Well, then
so you gotta pick and choose.
They're not really saying that whites are superior. They're saying that it doesn't matter what Muslims believe or what other people believe because whites are being genocided, which I think is that word is incorrect. Like it just because
genocided where
exactly like genocide is what's happening.
It's not what's happening, right? What's happening in the West is cultural brainwashing, making white women be dumb, right? And when I say dumb, I mean they're entitled leftist idiots who don't want to reproduce, or if they do want to reproduce, only want to choose the absolute top apex man that's like 1 in 10,000, 1 in 100,000, or they're choosing only to think about reproduction when they're 32 plus, right? And so they're unable to have the number of children required to maintain the population. That's what is currently happening, right?
In Palestine.
Exactly.
What's happening? Like, yes, there's mental warfare going on. There's propaganda, and whites there's less whites. But genocide is not the correct word because you could just have kids.
And but anyway, if there's a mental prison that you're in, due to the cancerous leftist ideology that you can't speak out against, or else you lose the bread going into your mouth, like what Sneako, you might have FU money, but even you don't, because you literally converted to Islam in order to have the support of like Arabs, right, or Muslims towards you because you were getting cancelled. Anyway,
you could just repopulate. That solves the genocide, right? The real genocide is like feminism because women don't want to have kids.
Indeed.
They're listening to Taylor Swift. The men are weaker. They have less testosterone. They don't want to procreate. They're addicted to porn and they're online and they're afraid they can't talk to girls. That's the real problem. It's not that there's some sort of, there's not actual warfare like in Palestine. So genocide is not the correct word. So they're not really saying that whites are the superior race, but they're saying that we need to save the white race because we are being depopulated quickly because of the New World Order.
Well, the word genocide, if you go to the etymology of the word, the Greek is genos, which means race or tribe or whatever it is. And then the other word side means killing. Who is killing the white race?
The whites themselves are doing it.
Claiming the whites are being genocide. If you're using that term, you need to at least understand what the term means, right? If you're using words, use them correctly. If you claim that
by their own
whites are
choices,
being genocide, then show us where are they being genocide. Like you said, genocide that is happening in Gaza.
They're being like killed in the sense that they're not being born. Their potential is being wasted.
Killing of women, innocent women, men and children is happening there. This is what we talk about. You made the documentary about...
It's more insidious than all that. They're choosing not to procreate, which is basically sterility, right? And sterilizing a whole population of people is considered genocide. So...
the Bosnian genocide. This is a genocide. This is killing by mass, killing individuals and people, right? Who couldn't even do anything about it. If you're claiming whites are choosing not to have children due to the fact that they have adopted the principles of liberalism, due to the fact that they adopted the Enlightenment period that was being pushed on them. They took John Stuart Mill's principles. That's their choices. Now, if you have an issue with that, you don't complain about the Dawah guys, about Islam. Go talk to your people. Tell them to stop doing LGBTQ.
Indeed. Tell them to stop being idiots. It's hard.
Flags in their churches. That's who you're supposed to talk to, not to the Muslims. I didn't talk about Nick, but Nick is the one who started talking about the Da'wah guys around Sneako, right? So he's the one who started talking about us. If he wanted to talk about you, could have talked about you. But he's trying to blame us for you saying things which are factually correct. For instance, that supremacy, white supremacy, is not accurate, is not correct, is not true. The whites today are using many things that came from Muslim inventions anyways, like that. Look, you have algorithms. You know, algorithms comes from a Muslim name, which is
even algebra is Muslim, is originally.
Khwarizmi, literally translated into English means algorithm, right?
Algebra
And
as well.
modern scientific, exactly, algebra as well. The modern scientific method that he's been using, it comes from Hassan ibn al-Haytham. In his book Optics, is how we can use cameras, is as also how we have the modern scientific method. You look at,
But okay.
for example,
No mention of Francis Bacon was made that day.
Ibn Sina.
Al-Razi, teaching his medical things, and then they come and they tell you, whites are superior. What are we talking about? Whenever
Actually, we stand on the shoulders of giants, right? So before the Renaissance period, here's what's ironic. I know this because I'm a student of history, right? But Europe was in the Dark Ages, right? Like, not much was being recorded. And they had lost the knowledge that the Roman Empire had gained, right? But you know who had recorded it? Well, the Arab Empire had recorded that information and then reintroduced it to Europe, which caused the Renaissance. So it's funny because in that period when Europe was having a dark age, the Arabian Empire was gigantic, right? And it's ironic that the Arabian Empire, in reintroducing Europe to those ideas, re-smartened them up and caused the Renaissance, literally the rebirth, right? The re-understanding of ancient ideas that had been far more advanced than the information 1,000 years later. It's funny because I fear we're going into another dark age, right? People being idiotized by social media like TikTok and so on, YouTube Shorts, being idiotized and unable to retain information or critically think. How many of you have seen the bots in 2024? They dress however TikTok tells them to dress. They talk in the slang however TikTok tells them to talk. They wear whatever TikTok tells them to wear. They think however TikTok tells them to think. Tell me that those are not NPCs. Tell me those aren't bots. Don't let that be you.
Empire have had power. It had inventions. That's how it works. If you want to look at...
And what's funny is this idiotization of the world might lead to another dark age where another empire takes over and becomes the enlightened ones for a while, for, you know, and when I say a while, I mean 1,000 years, and the cycle will repeat.
The Greeks, when they had power, they had inventions. You want to look later on at different civilization when it had power, it had inventions. This is how things works. To come and try and claim just because you're white and your skin is brighter than someone else, that means therefore you're superior, is ridiculous. Now you're saying that's not their claim. I don't know what their claim is.
But what's funny is many races, right? Many cultures have this whole thing. Even black people have lighter skin. Black people are considered more attractive than darker skin. And in India, same. Lighter skin is considered more attractive than darker skin, and so on. I don't know why these stupid ideas exist, but they do. Even in 2024, they still exist.
I want to hear what they make.
That's not specifically their claim. They're talking about how they're being replaced and there needs to be a solution. So Tate's saying that white supremacists are right because they need to protect their own kind. And they're saying that I'm liberal now, that I sold out to whatever, and I became woke. And that actually blew my mind. I did not know that their measurement of conservative and liberal values started and ended with white supremacy. Because I believe that conservative values come from God. That's the only, because that's traditional values. That's what's created the morals, the systems. It all comes back to God, not Hitler, not white supremacy. That's not the be all end all. Yeah. So saying that I'm not a white supremacist, look at me. How is that even possible? I could never be one. They would never, like, that doesn't make sense. So, yeah. And then some people say that I'm selling out, that I sold to Iran or Saudis funding me to go and spread this in the West. And it's just, and the whole reason that I align with Nick, and I guess that I agree with the white supremacists or the white nationalists, the white these people is because I agree that we should get Zionists, we should get Israel out of American politics. There's too many people with dual allegiance. Zionism has controlled too many aspects of this. And what I've also come to realize is that it's time for white people to take some of the blame. It's time for white people to admit, because Trump just tweeted, he said, if Kamala Harris gets elected, then Israel will be obliterated fast. And I'm like, well, it sounds like a great idea. It's time for white people to
I don't think that that's what'll happen, but okay.
be like, okay, are Zionists controlling everything, or have the white people teamed up with the Zionists? Have they worked with them? Are they being manipulated in every aspect, or are they knowingly and acknowledging that Israel has a lot of power, the Zionists have a lot of power, let's go work with them?
Yeah, so look, the thing is, as I said, you can say something is not their claim, but how they talk is a bit different as well. Like, you hear a lot of them talking about, oh, we're the Aryan race. What does that mean, the Aryan race? So, what makes
Indian. The Aryans are from, like, anyway.
your race, what gives you the superiority there?
Daniel Hikikachu.
Why? Yeah. So I'm saying this is the point I'm making, is like, where is this superiority coming from? Tell us. This is what we want to hear, right? We want to hear their argument. Where does superiority come from? As we said, if it's just about inventions, we can bring you different civilizations.
Yeah. I mean, the Chinese Empire invented many of the inventions we use today, including money, funnily enough, and gunpowder. The things Americans like so much. The two are invented by the Chinese, ironically. But anyway, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all the notifications. Buy my books like Hunter M, Adrian R. Tom and Bobby, Dylan, Renaissance Press, Brian, Andrew, Alan, Armani, and Nicholas. Shout out to you, most recent purchaser of both my books, Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By. Thank you. Again, guys, I give you much better advice than these guys on talking to girls. They're in that book. You could also message me at my email. That's theheliosblog@gmail.com. I'll help you with any girl problems you have. That's my coaching services. And I can help you get the kind of outcomes you want with girls that you're actually looking for. I can explain how you're actually supposed to do it. All right. Anyway, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all the notifications. And thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you listen to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.